like to call to order the July meeting of the Suffolk Historic Landmarks Commission. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bissell.
Here.
Ms. Coley.
Here.
Mr. Emerson. Here. Mr. Hobbs.
Here.
Mr. King.
Here.
Ms. McCormley. Here. Mr. Schaefer. Here. And Ms. Turner. Here. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, the minutes all have been distributed in plenty of time. Has everybody had an opportunity to read them? And if so, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as standard.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, motion carried. Okay, the first major item of business we have is election of officers. And so I'll turn the floor over to.
Thank you,
Nick.
Mr. Chairman. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the members who got reappointed. Everybody got reappointed, so I'm thankful for that. Thank you all for your service and continued service. So at this time, I will take nominations for chairman. Anybody?
I'd like to nominate Kermit Hobbs as chairman.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, so I will take nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Mrs. McCormley.
Second.
Right. All in favor of Ms. McCormley, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, congratulations, Mr. Hobbs and Ms. McCormley. Thank you again for your service. And Mr. Hobbs, I will turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you. Okay, we have two items to consider today. On the Roman numeral 5, it's A. Request for Certificate of Appropriateness, HLC 2025-0011, submitted by Brennan Branch, applicant on behalf of BC Branch Enterprises Incorporated, property owner for the new construction at 312 Bank Street. The property is further identified as zoning map number 34G, 19A, 31. Suffolk Voting Borough, zoned RM, Residential Medium District Zoning District, and HC, Historic Conservation Overlay District. Let's have a staff report, please.
Good morning, everyone. This is HLC application 2025-11, located at 312 Bank Street, as indicated by the star on the general location map that you see here. This property is located in the original Suffolk National Register Historic District, adopted in 1987. Got a couple of maps to give you a better indication of the location of the property. Here on the north side of Bank Street, between Pinner Street to the west and Holiday Street to the east, is the subject property. And this map shows you the zoning of the property. It is located on the edge of a residential area and adjacent to some institutional, utility, and commercial uses. So the base zone district for the property is Residential Medium District, RM. Adjacent zoning districts include heavy industrial, M2 zoning. The applicant is proposing new construction of a single-family residence on the vacant lot at this location. The application includes this front elevation exhibit of the building that's proposed. It also includes the site plan that you see on this slide, which is important, again, in the context of new construction. It shows the location and dimensions of all the site improvements, including the proposed building and the driveway. Siding detail and color and the roof shingle detail and color are also included with the application. So those are the two photographs that you see here. Specifications for the standing seam metal roof portion of the roof is shown here on the left of the slide. And the brick and mortar work is included and shown here as well. So the color both the brick and the mortar is shown here. Window specifications are provided as well in the application, and a photo of a typical window is shown here in this photo provided by the applicant. The detail and proposed color of the exterior front door are also included in the application, and they are shown here. Actually been a while since this commission has reviewed new construction in the district. Almost exactly 4 years ago. It was actually June 2021. So I put a little additional information in the presentation today and in your application to just call out the main criteria that are identified in the guidelines for applying to this application. So in some cases, perhaps surprising if you're looking at this from someplace other than your seat, you know, in terms of what we're looking for. It's really more about consistency with historic character of the neighborhood and the surrounding area, and compatibility with the historic character of what you find in the area. So the form, the size of the building, the orientation of the building to the street, the height of the building, how it compares to things that are around it, are really what we're looking at primarily in this application, and actually differentiation from historic character. So we want it to be its own building in its own period, as opposed to trying to look like an earlier period, an earlier type of architecture. So again, applying that set of guidelines to this project, and also looking at that recent precedent. We're at staff level recommending approval of this application with several conditions. All windows will be ply GEM brick mold single hung window, white in color. The roofing system on the main roof will be CertainTeed Landmark shingles, weatherwood in color. The roofing system on the porch is proposed to be Englert metal roof, dark bronze in color. Exterior siding will be ply gem mastic vinyl, quiet willow in color. Exterior trim will be white in color. The porch will be 20 feet wide by 6 feet 8 inches deep and will span the front facade of the house. You all may have noticed in the guidelines how important a porch is actually to these kinds of neighborhoods and these historic structures. So that's something that really does make it fit in and be compatible with the other structures. Condition 5, exterior entry doors will be Smooth Star single door ultra PVC brick mold. Color will be ponytail. Brick foundation will be Blackmore pine hall brick. The front facade of the proposed structure will face Bank Street. So the sort of eyes on the street concept that's so common in these neighborhoods. The location and dimension of the building and driveway will be consistent with the plot plan submitted with the COA application. So again, the location of the structure on the lot is consistent with things that are around it. Of course, they have to meet our local zoning requirements as well. That concludes my presentation. I'll stand by for any questions that you all may have. I would like to note that the applicant is here today if you all have any questions for him.
Thank you. Okay, we'll open the floor for the public hearing. Is anyone present who would like to speak in support of this application?
Harwell, Brennan Branch, born and raised in Suffolk. I live at 701 Jones Street, and just trying to do our part to make the city look better. I'm here for any questions if you need me.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you.
I just have, excuse me. I'm an architect, and if you ask 2 architects, you'll get 3 opinions at least. Just looking at the 3 columns in the front, to me, the brick pier seems kind of tall. I don't know if you have any other go-bys in the neighborhood of the proportions of those battered columns, but, and I don't know if anybody else noticed that or if it was just me, but it seems like,
Yeah, we were trying to go for the shorter look on the columns, kind of to match, years ago. The brick would be higher and the columns would be a little bit shorter. So that's kind of what we were kind of going off of. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak in support of this application? Is there anybody who'd like to speak opposed to this application? If not, we'll close the public hearing on this item and open the floor for discussion among commissioners. Discussion. Okay. Okay, would anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation to approve.
We have a motion for approval. Is there
Second.
have a motion and a second? Okay, we have a roll call vote, please.
Sir. Mr. Bissell?
yes.
Ms. Coley? Mr. Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Oliver? Mr. Hobbs, sorry.
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. McCormley?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner? Mr. Chairman, the item has passed by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Okay, second item. Request for certificate of appropriateness, HLC 2025-00012, submitted by Alexander Luker, applicant on behalf of Billes Holdings, LLC, property owner, for exterior alterations of property located at 419 North Main Street. The property is further identified as zoning map number 34G11A124, Suffolk Voting Borough, Zone CBD, Central Business District, Zoning District, and HC, Historic Conservation Overlay District. Could we have the staff report on that one, please?
Morning again, this next application is 2025-12, located at 419 North Main Street, as indicated on the general location map shown here. The property is located in the North Main Street National Register Historic District, adopted in 1998. Again, to give you a little bit more orientation to the location, the property is located on the west side of Main Street, with Western Avenue to the north and Mahan Street to the south and Church Street to the west. The property is located within a mix of land uses along this section of North Main Street. Land uses include residential, institutional, and some commercial along Main Street itself. The base zoning of the district for the property is Central Business District, CBD. Adjacent zoning districts include Residential Urban District, or RU. Applicant is proposing a number of improvements to the building to address deterioration of several historic building features. Improvements include window replacement, replacement of the roofing materials, and replacement of existing exterior siding. A description of existing conditions of the building was provided with the application, along with several photos to illustrate that condition. What you see here are some photos illustrating the condition of the existing siding on this structure. This photograph was also provided showing the existing condition of the stamped metal shingle roof that is the original roofing material on this building. Specifications for replacement with architectural grade asphalt shingles are provided with the application, and a photo detail and color option is shown here on this slide. Existing windows and an earlier replacement window are shown here. New window replacements will match the existing replacement that you see here, as well as the design and size of the current windows, or excuse me, the original windows on the building. Staff are recommending approval of this COA application based on a review of the proposed project for consistency with the applicable regulations and guidelines. So just to quickly go over the main ones here. Replacement of existing windows. All windows are proposed to be replaced with the exception of the gable window, which will be restored. Replacement windows will be Harvey windows, classic double hung style, clear glass with grids made of white vinyl, again meeting the existing profile of the windows. Replacement of the existing stamped steel roofing system. The replacement roof material will be GAF Timberline natural shadow architectural grade asphalt shingles. Shingle color will be either charcoal or hunter green. The last time we had a conversation, they were still debating which one of those they wanted to pick, and in our recommendation, either one would be appropriate in this particular location. Replacement of the existing exterior siding. Replacement siding will be Westlake Royal Building Products, 4.5-inch lap siding, again to match the existing wood, siding reveal, and color in white. Proposal to wrap the existing exterior trim with a white textured PVC coil material. The replacement material will be Mastic Lomar 24-inch trim coil, textured polymer finish, again to match the existing profile and color of existing materials. Repair and restoration of existing brick surfaces, porch steps, porch flooring, columns and railings, so those features will not change, they'll just be restored. Repair and restoration of existing entry doors as well. That concludes my presentation. Again, I'll stand by for any questions that you all may have.
Thank you. Okay, I'll open the floor for the public hearing. Is anyone present who'd like to speak in support of this application?
Morning. I'm Alexander Luker, and I'm the property manager for Billows Holdings. This property is currently being utilized as transitional housing and crisis housing for the community, and it's, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
I have any questions for him?
I have a couple of questions. First, just incidentally, the house, is it going to be sold to an owner? Does it have an owner? Is it a rental?
Owned by Billows Holdings, but it's currently used by Life Consultants as transitional housing.
And can you tell me more about what's involved here in the third line under the proposed action, what the National Register nomination form is?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Right, so actually, let me go back to a map here, so just to kind of help illustrate the point here. This will probably be the best way to answer that question. If the line in black shows you the local zoning district that you all operate under, the different colors that you see are the National Register designations for the property within that district. Does that make sense? So that back when this program was being formed, the city of Suffolk, working with the State Department of Historic Resources, nominated these districts for being on the National Register and State Register of Historic Places. So when we say the National Register, that's what we mean, and those are the numbers in the different districts that you have in the city of Hampton. Hopefully that answers your question. So this particular property is in the North Main District, which is that kind of purple color shown on this map. And we reference that when we present these projects to you all and include it in the application, because that's really the source of the information that we have on the historic character of these buildings. So essentially, every building under the footprint of that district was surveyed, and the conditions of the building and background on the history of the building and the community are made a part of that application. So sorry for the long-winded answer to your question, but that's what that means.
So the structure itself is not on the National Historic Registry?
That's correct. In this particular case, it's in a district that's on the National Register.
Okay.
In some cases, you have properties that are both individually recognized within a district, or maybe it's just the building and not the district.
For my information, if at some point somebody wanted, if these actions were approved, and at some later point, somebody wanted to have the house on the National Historic Registry, would these improvements have an impact on that?
Likely that they would have an impact. I can't tell you whether it would change the likelihood of being designated or not, but if you go back and look at the original nomination forms, clearly they note the materials, the integrity of the structure in terms of its existing conditions. So those are all factors that go into meeting that designation for individual buildings.
Feel that these changes are in keeping with the general area's designation?
Are, and in fact, what we're reviewing it for, and what you all are reviewing it for, is the zoning requirement that's bounded by that black line on this map. You know, there's an important distinction between the two districts, types of districts, and what that means from a legal standpoint and a financial standpoint to the property owner. One big difference is if you're in that district, you would qualify for income tax credits at the state and federal level for rehabilitating your property according to the National Park Service standards. A really, really big distinction we want everyone to understand because it's a major incentive to restoration of the property. So you see both of those as a member of this commission. We bring forward properties that are going through that tax credit process, and we bring through properties, the majority that aren't. Okay?
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the application? If not, we'll close the public hearing on this item and open the floor for discussion among the commissioners. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll move that we approve.
A motion and a second? We have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bissell? Ms. Coley?
Yes.
Mr. Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Hobbs?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. McCormill?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner? Mr. Chairman, the item is passed by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to staff reports. We have administrative COA approvals.
Good morning again. You do have in your packet this month a report on the projects that we as staff have been reviewing and approving administratively from April 1 to June 30. 5 projects, pretty straightforward repair and renovation projects on residential structures in the district. We did have one commercial project, a replacement of a sign at 114 North Main Street. So any questions you have about these projects, I'd be happy to address.
What is the property, 114 North Main Street? Do you know the name of the business?
Property, I wish I could show you a
Okay.
photo, but it's a multi-tenant commercial building on the corner of North Main and Washington. And the sign is actually on the back of the building because that's where you park. So you can barely see it from the street that's behind it, but it is visible. So it's a small, it's a medical office sign. They're replacing what they have now on the building. Yeah.
Discussion? Thank you. We have a property maintenance update.
morning, council. Here with the property maintenance update. We're going to start with 223 Bank Street. Their property is still in violation. It's no longer for sale anymore. The bank took it off. We'll go over 112 West Washington Street. The building is vacant. The owner have made all the repairs from that incident that we had earlier this year. They secured all the windows. They made the repairs to the roof as well. 221 Bank Street, that property has been sold. We was just waiting for the owners to make repair. I was over there last week, and I saw them out there walking around. I guess they're trying to get their bearings about what they're going to do with the property. 301 to 307 Bank Street, that owner is currently making repairs. They're actually making it look a lot better than it did before. 318 Bank Street, that property was sold as well. I'm hoping they're going to do something with that property, being that the gentleman is building the house right next door. 222 Bank Street, that property was sold as well. We are also waiting for the owners to start making repairs and COA. I stopped by there and I spoke with the new owner. They said, yeah, they're going to go ahead and apply for their COA and start to try to get things going. We did a sweep on Bank Street last year. All of them came into compliant except for one, which is 224 Clay Street, and we're trying to put that one up for demo if we possibly can, because it's just like 219 Clay, if you guys remember that one. Any questions? All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, and, and we'd like to have a zoning update, please.
So for zoning, starting with 214 Grace Street, there was a fence that was erected with no permit, so an NOV notice of violation was issued to them. At 111 Linden Avenue, which that, after doing more research, I discovered that they did have a COA issued previously, so that NOV that was issued is going to be voided. At 257 Pine Street, after Mr. Kennedy informed me that that was actually out of the HLC, so that is not relevant right now, so that will be voided because they did not actually need a COA. On 301 Bank Street, there is a temporary use permit issued for a dumpster through the end of July. 216 Pinner Street, they have work that has been done to the house that does not match the COA. With that, they replace the windows. The windows do not have the grills in them, those separating lines. So we are working with them to try to bring them into compliance. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
First one you have was the question. Like fence with no permit. What happens when you see something like that happens?
No, I see what?
When like number one.
Oh, with the
214
fence with no permit?
Gray Street, fence with no permit. What happens on a case like that?
So with that, we see that a new fence is erected, so we look to see if a permit was ever issued for it. If a permit hasn't been issued, we issue a notice of violation, just explaining to them that they do need a zoning permit for a new fence. They have 30 days to bring it into compliance. If it's not brought into compliance, then we do issue a summons, in which case we'll go to court and have it dealt with there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And if I might add, if it's in, you're fine, Nathan. If it is in the district, once they've applied for their permit, then the planning staff would review it for appropriateness with the COA and make sure that it matches with the guidelines in that process.
Thank you. Okay, announcements. I think you have some announcements to make.
So I will announce that we will not be having an August meeting. We don't have any applications that would be going forward, so stand by for September. We are keeping track because the bylaws require that we have 4 meetings a year, so we're keeping track so we don't run afoul of our bylaws. Just a kind of a note, we had some discussion with the chair and the vice chair about siding and doors as they come in these applications, and staff our commitment to the commission is just to make sure that as we're reviewing those for either administrative or coming before the commission, that we are matching the character of what is in there, so that if they're, and you saw today, if they're replacing the siding, that we're going to make sure that we indicate that it matches, what, if they're, especially if they're doing vinyl, over or replacement for wood, that it matches the character of what is there. Same thing with the doors. If they want to change a style, I think that's something that we could, bring to the commission to make sure that the commission can review something like that, because I think that, we all agree that the doors are important on the structure. So just sort of some administrative things that we've been discussing that, again, as those things come forward, that we, we'll make sure that we have processes in place so that, that we're keeping in the character of what is going on in the district there. And finally, I want to announce that congratulations to Keith. This is his last meeting. He is retiring from the city, and after being here and helping us, thankfully, through our comp plan process and navigating the HLC, so he is going to go and enjoy his family and leave us, unfortunately, at the end of this month. So.
We have to approve him now as a historic landmark.
I think he is a historic landmark. I think he still bears the scars of the comprehensive plan. Yes. So, thank you, Keith.
We'll miss you.
And I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, this completes the agenda that we have, so we'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.